Woman just went to the bathroom on a plane, but she got her life back. The moment she reached for the bathroom door, the plane suddenly shook violently. It was shaken by an invisible hand. And then, a strong sense of weightlessness hit her. Her whole body was thrown into the air. She hit the ceiling hard. Suddenly she lost consciousness. I don't know how long it took. She woke up slowly. She realized that she was surrounded by a mess, and she was covered in wounds. Though she was fine, but she was trapped in this small space. The woman was terrified, but she still managed to hold back her fear. With all her strength, she kicked open the toilet door. But what she saw in front of her was shocking. The plane hit a snow-covered mountain. The plane was in pieces. Luggage was scattered all over the place. The bodies of the victims were everywhere. She took a shaky step. She walks through the wreckage, trying to find her family. Finally, she saw a familiar figure in a pile of snow, but her body was frozen into ice. Her legs were on her knees. She dug her hands into the cold snow, trying to dig out her family, but it was in vain. As she sat there in grief, a man came out of the plane. He came to her and tried to calm the woman down. Now they were the only ones left on the plane. The snow was getting heavier and heavier. In order to survive, the man decided to gather supplies and set off. They must find a way to survive on their own. The two of them can only rely on each other to find a way out of here. They gather what supplies they can and set off. They trudged along the edge of the snow-covered mountain. Soon they're blocked by cliffs. The slightest misstep could have shattered their bones, but they have no choice. They had no choice but to embark on the only way to survive. For women who have been afraid of heights since childhood, it was very difficult. Every step felt like she was teetering on the edge of hell. Her legs were weak. Each step requires a great deal of courage. Suddenly, she stepped on the ground. She lost her center of gravity. Luckily, a man pulled her back. The woman was clinging to the cliff wall. The scene just now almost made her cry. After adjusting her condition, the two of them continued to move forward, halfway up the mountain. But the cliff here is even steeper, and the wind was even stronger. The woman looked down, and immediately felt the sky spinning. She felt dizzy. They had to move up a narrow flight of steps to the side. They were careful with each step, but within a few steps, the woman was terrified by a large raised stone. She stopped dead in her tracks. She couldn't move forward, looking at the cliff below her feet. She was too scared to move forward. The man reached out his hand and tried to pull her over.
You can do it. You can do it. I got you. Just give me a hand. Give me a hand. There you go.
The woman overcame her fear, succeeded in crossing over, but what they didn't expect, there were no more rocks to step on. They were trapped halfway up the mountain. They were in a dilemma. Cold and hunger were eating away at their bodies. Just when they were in despair, the men suddenly found a way to make a living. A bold decision. He saw a big tree not far below. He decided to take a chance. He took a leap of faith and jumped. He closed his eyes tightly and prayed in his heart. Luckily, he managed to land on a tree. The branches and leaves of the tree cushioned the impact of his fall. After successfully escaping, the man shouted excitedly at the woman and asked her to follow his example. Encouraged by this, the woman did not know where to get the courage. She took a deep breath. She took a deep breath and jumped off the cliff, with the tree as a buffer. And the man was there to catch her. The woman was unharmed. Unfortunately, in the collision just now, the man's cell phone